Hey guys, hey guys, hey guys. I hope that you all are enjoying your Thankful Thursdays. As I say each and every week, it is Thursday and we have the activities of our limbs. We ain't in nobody's jail, God. Listen, we ain't got coronavirus. Do you got coronavirus? Do you got coronavirus? Listen, God is so good. And if you don't believe how good he is, I want you to sit and really think about this thing. Listen, if you're tuning in, you're listening to I Said It, and before I take it back, y'all already know I'm going to add more to it. I feel like I've missed you guys for so long. Ooh, all this cleavage. Yes, okay? I'm here for it. Listen, I'm so thankful. As I say each and every week, we have the activities of our limbs. We ain't in nobody's jail. And to God be the glory, we ain't in nobody's hospital. Nobody's hospital. Okay? Not have been by the hospital. And if I were you, I wouldn't want to be at the hospital. But if you're tuning in, you're listening to I Said It, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. Listen, I'm your host, Hubbard. I had an amazing guest with me for today, but unfortunately, they fallen sick. They became ill. And I thank God that they didn't come on the show, because your girl ain't got nothing. And you know what she want to keep? Nothing. I don't want nothing. So keep your sick self on away from me. To God be the glory, because I eat good, I take care of myself, and I do what I'm supposed to do. Listen, if you're tuning in, you're listening to I Said It, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. I want to talk to you all about the reality is we're more blessed than we think we are. The reality is we are more blessed than what we think we are. You know, I sat back and I've been watching the coronavirus and the media and the news. And this is one of the reasons that why I have always been inspired to produce content and media content and deliver news and information, because the media has the tendency and the propensity to make everybody that watches it go into a frenzy. And if you're not careful, you will allow things to settle into your spirit that's not supposed to be there in the first place. And if you're tuning in, you're listening to I Said It, and we're talking about we're blessed. We're more blessed than we think we are. The reality is we are more blessed than what we think we are. Within this last week and a half, I watched parents complain about having their children be at home. I've watched people complain about not being able to go to the casino, not being able to go to the mall, not being able to get their Amazon packages. I've watched people, take in the creativity and focus on some of their businesses and some of the ideas that they have come up with. And now they are taking the time to really put forth an effort to make sure that their businesses are what they say they want it to be. This has been a time frame where people have decided that they want to be involved in the toilet paper chaos by buying all the toilet paper. There has been confusion and scarce news that has come across our TV screens. But I'm here to tell you guys, if you're tuning in, you're listening to I Said It, and before I take it back, y'all already know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna add more to it. And the reality is that we are more blessed than we think we are. And I say that because you have a roof over your head. That's the first thing. Okay? You're not out here suffering like so many thousands, if not millions of people who are without a home. That's the first thing. Whether your home is a bedroom, a studio apartment, a raggedy house, if you got to share the house with multiple people, you have a roof over your head. Okay? That's the first thing. So nobody should be complaining about having to stay at home when you have a home. There are people that don't have nowhere to go. And you have a home with a door, with a bathroom with a door, a bedroom with a door, a front room with a door, a back door with a door. Hell, some of y'all are blessed. You got garage doors. You got patios. You got sun porches. Some of y'all got dens. Some of you all have a living room plus a dining room plus a sun room and a kitchen. You all are more blessed than what you know. And if you're tuning in, you're listening to I Said It, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it, because ain't none of y'all got a heaven or hell to put me in. I said it. I watched about all of the people that were complaining about them losing their jobs and them not having money to pay for things that they needed. And the reality of it is that you should be thankful that you even have employment. There are people who weren't employed before the coronavirus. And at the end of the day, at least you know when this pandemic is over, you'll still have employment to go to. See, the thing about this year, and I don't think that y'all really even understand what you even asked God for. See, everybody was talking about 2020 vision. Give me 2020 vision. Oh, God heard your prayers. Because now you have to put in perspective some things that you hadn't put in perspective before. See, everybody was around here shouting out 2020 vision. God, give me 2020 vision. Oh, he gonna give you 2020 vision, all right. He gonna let you see what the priorities and what perspectives should be in place. See, 2020 vision is just not about seeing things correctly and seeing them in a clear sight. 2020 vision is about seeing what is actually in front of you and seeing that clear picture for what it is. See, this pandemic, this epidemic, has taught us a few things. The first thing is y'all ain't in control of nothing. Nothing. You ain't in control of nothing. Nothing. You ain't in control. You don't control nothing. So I suggest you control what you can control. That's the first thing that this pandemic has taught us. And if you're tuning in, you're listening to I Said It, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. And we're talking about the reality is we're more blessed than what we know. See, I watch people put up statuses about their praying and how they're praying for, entrepreneurs and businesses and business owners and, all of that thing. But see, let me tell you something about prayer. And I know a thing or two about prayer because I've been in positions where all I had was prayer. I didn't have no $1,000 income coming in to help me. All I had was prayer. When my lights and gas got cut off and I'm in here shivering, cold, all I had was prayer. When I was facing eviction notices, trying to take care of my son as a single parent, all I had was prayer. When I was standing before judges and they had the propensity to put me in jail and keep me there, all I had was prayer. See, the thing about prayer, why everybody want to jump on the paddy wagon and make these videos about how I said it. Yeah, I'm going there. Everybody want to jump on the paddy wagon about prayer. Prayer should be a part of your day-to-day life anyway. If you're an entrepreneur, prayer should be a part of your daily life anyway. Yeah, I said it. And before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. See, you don't get to play God and play the prayer thing because now we're in a crisis. And see, that's the very thing that we have to stop doing when it comes to utilizing our relationships with God, Christ, the church, whatever the case may be. We can't run to God when it's an epidemic, but you were slobbing on knobs like corn on the cob last week and you weren't thinking about God. Yeah, I said it. See, you weren't thinking about hepatitis, herpes. You wasn't thinking about none of that when you was kissing in the club. You wasn't thinking about loving on your neighbor and hugging your neighbor. Now you can't even touch him or talk to your neighbor. Yeah, I said it. And before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. See, it's not enough for you to get on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, all this. Now you want to have all of these family moments. That's what your behind should have been doing. You should have been spending time with your children instead of chasing these streets. Yeah, I said it. And before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. I won't be before you long. And I'm not coming here to complain. And I'm not coming here to get on nobody's case. But what I am saying is you shouldn't be complaining about your children being at home when you are your first children's teacher. Your children are your first students and you are the first teacher of your children. So the fact of the matter, if you upset because you at home with your kids and if your kids is bad as hell, guess what? It's because you got bad parenting. Yeah, I said it. Now you see how these teachers feel when they got 34 of your badass kids in a classroom getting on their nerves. Yeah, I said it. And I'm speaking for the teachers, administrators, and the like. You mad because you got to be at home with your kids, but your kids don't know how to write their first or last name. Your kids don't know their address. Your kids don't know their phone number. Your kids don't know your parents' first and last name. Your kids don't know the main streets where they live. But you tripping and complaining about being at home with your kids. Let me tell you something. I beat my son's behind as a kid until he learned his name, my name, his daddy name, his grandma name, their address, my address, his phone number, my phone number, and he wasn't leaving out that house in that room until he got it. Yeah, I said it. And before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. Now, if your children are at home and they playing a video game and you know the ACT and SAT is coming up and they not prepared, because let me tell you what's going to happen. Everything's going to go back to normal and we still going to be behind as black people. See, what has happened is it has created a bigger gap. And I've said this, and if you've been watching my shows, if you've been tuning in and watching, I've been preparing you all for this. I've talked about this. I said another recession was coming. It has created a bigger gap between the poor and the wealthy. And if we're not careful, this could be the very appropriate time to develop new billionaires, new millionaires, and new thousandaires. See, it ain't enough for us to support each other now because that's all we got. See, during the 60s, there was a thing called segregation, right? And the segregation was black people was over here and white people was over there. Black people had no choice but to stick together because all we had was one another. We had to create the black-owned TV shows, the black-owned movie theaters, the black-owned restaurants. We had to work together. We didn't have a choice. Because they wasn't letting us in through the front door. So we had to create our own spaces and our own juke joints and our own this and that. So at the end of the day, it shouldn't take a pandemic or epidemic for us to want to support each other and and for us to solicit each other's businesses. That's something we should have already been doing. It shouldn't take a pandemic for you to call people and tell them that you love them. It shouldn't take a pandemic for you to sit up here and want to know, are your people okay? It shouldn't take a pandemic for you to check on your grandma, who you know good and damn well been a senior citizen in homes, in a hospital. Now you can't see him. I just talked to my brother the other day. And if you're tuning in, you're listening to I said it, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. And y'all already know y'all ain't got a heaven or hell to put me in, so I don't really care. Yeah, I said it. Because, see, I'm sick and tired of people utilizing certain situations to appease themselves. See, what God did was he slowed us all down. See, the thing about people is, see, we can fool each other. We can fool each other, you know. You got on your Gucci, you got your Benz, so, you know, people automatically think you got it going on. Nobody knows you're broke. Nobody knows you're poor, because on social media, you can be anything you want to be. But at this particular point, where are you going to go stunt? Where are you fronting on people at? What are we doing here? And see, what God has allowed to happen is the very thing that people thought will work out for their good, because at the end of the day, coronavirus, COVID-19 is a human-made virus. It's not God-made. So we're praying to God to fix something he didn't even create. We're asking and praying to God to fix something that he didn't even create to harm us. People created this issue. That's why it's important for you to vote, put proper leadership in place. See, y'all thought it was funny when this man was running for president. Oh, we thought it was hilarious. Oh, we thought it was comical. This is why it's important for you to understand what's going on in your legislature, what's going on within the people in your community. See, you don't want the results. You angry, you upset at the results of this, but these are the people you voted in office. And then on top of that, now we're dealing with discrimination. And so if you've never felt discriminated against, now you understand what black people feel like. Now you understand what we've been going through all our lives, being discriminated just from the color of our skin. Now people looking at each other because you're sneezing and coughing. And I just want to let y'all know for the record, I have allergies. I've had them my whole life. So if you hear me talking about some, I got allergies. If you see me sneeze, you see my eyes water, it's because I have allergies, had them my whole life. Ain't no coronavirus around here and she ain't trying to get it. But if I do, God forbid, I'll be all right. I done been all right before. See, what you fail to realize is that we've come a mighty long way, people. And if you are part of the minority, which were really the majority, you have seen some of these horrific situations. Our people have survived from nothing. And y'all out here complaining because you can't go to the mall. God forbid, the mall. God forbid your kids got to be at home with you, the one who created them. Oh, Jesus. At the end of the day, we're supposed to take care of our bodies anyway. You're supposed to be drinking water anyway. Fago Pop is not a supplement for water. And at the end of the day, washing your hands should be a part of your day-to-day process. The fact that you don't wash your hands lets me know that you are nasty and trifling and you belong in hell. Yeah, I said it. And before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. You nasty. You are nasty. And the fact of the matter is that so many people bypass vitamins, vegetables. You still going to McDonald's. You still going to Burger King. How do you suspect to actually have a healthy and sustaining life if you're continuously feeding yourself garbage? I saw some people the other day. They just tearing up hot fries or whatever them things was, hot Cheetos or whatever they is. How? You get the coronavirus tomorrow, nothing in your body says vitamins, iron, calcium. There's nothing in you that says, hey, we got enough stuff in us to fight this virus that's in my body. And if you're tuning in, you're listening to I Said It, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. I'm your host, Hubbard. If you're looking for a speaker, if you're looking for a host, if you're looking for a panelist, listen, make sure that you book me. Listen, because I'm going to be booked, busy, and blessed, even in this. Even in this. And I was interested when I saw the people making the comments that they were making within these last few weeks. And it was just very disheartening. It was disheartening that people are more consumed with what's being said in the media than what's being said in your spirit and in your heart. People are more subject to move based off what somebody is telling them to do. This should already be a part of your lifestyle. Treating people with compassion should be a part of your lifestyle. Praying for one another and the success of our businesses, that should be a part of your lifestyle. Especially if you claiming you a Christian. Especially if you claiming you love Jesus. This should already be a part of your makeup. But the fact of the matter that I'm seeing all these people putting up all these prayers, and I want to say something too. When it comes to prayer, and I failed to mention it earlier, and if you're tuning in, you're listening to I Said It, we're talking about the reality is that we're way more blessed than what we know. See, the thing about prayer that I've learned is that prayer comes with change. You don't get to pray and expect a change if you're not willing to change yourself. See, a lot of us want the blessings without the breakthrough and the breakdown. See, some of you all thought that you got to where you are off your own merit. You thought you were so good looking, so debonair. You had the best marketing skills. Your strategy was on point. And what God had to let you know is, yes, some plant, some water, but God gives increase. So the thing about it is that you don't get to where you got off on your own. And see, the thing about prayer is you can pray to God all day long, but your prayer will not be answered if you don't change. See, it's not enough for us to say, I'm praying for all of the small businesses, but yet you don't support no other businesses. It's not enough to say, I'm praying for all of these families, but yet you don't support any initiatives that help families. It's not enough to say, I want to make sure all the women and children are out here safe, but you out here dogging women and children. See, you can't pray for change and then not change yourself. You can't say, I want, my family to be protected, but then you don't even talk to your family. You cause more chaos and more strife amongst your own family than the coronavirus. You cause more chaos and drama in your own family than the coronavirus. And see that at the end of the day, what the coronavirus and COVID-19 has caused us to do is come together, whether you want to or not. That marriage that wasn't working, you're going to have to figure out, is this what we're going to do or is it not? Your children, now you have to make some real conscientious decisions. Do you have life insurance? In the event that we got to uplift it and be rerouted and got to move. Have you decided where you're going to go? Have you all put in an emergency plan? Do you know in the event if something transpires to you, who's next in line? Who has power of authority if you do get sick and fall ill and become incapacitated and you can't talk? See, these are real conversations that we need to have with one another, and we're not having them. And then we think that everything is supposed to be okay. And if you're tuning in, you're listening to I Said It, because before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. At the end of the day, the reality is that we're a lot more blessed than what we think. If you have a roof over your head, you're blessed. You got hot water, you're blessed. You got food in the refrigerator, regardless if it's what you used to eating, want to eat, you are blessed. You got a reasonable portion of your health and strength, you blessed. Because it's hospitals that are filled to the brim in the hallways of the hospitals. You're blessed. There are prisoners right now that can't even see their families because they're shut down under quarantine. Can't no prisoner see none of their loved ones. The only thing they can do is talk to them on the phone, GTL, telecommunications. You have a collect call from. The only way you can talk to your family members in the hospital is via phone. But then this is a question that I have to you. In the event that this goes further, are you prepared? Because I mentioned this assignment about my son. My son had an assignment last year, and I took it as a warning, okay? I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I pay attention, and it pays to pay attention. My son had an assignment last year, okay? And if you're tuning in, you're listening to I Said It, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. My son had an assignment last year, and his assignment was twofold. The first part of his assignment was, if we go to war and they cut communications, how will we be able to communicate if there's no Wi-Fi, no cell phone use, no satellite towers? How will we be able to communicate? And I want y'all to think about that for a moment. They cut this internet off. They cut this media, TV, satellite. How will we communicate? Now, see, anybody that's 35 and up, we know how we gonna communicate. 35 and under, y'all gonna have a real hard time. Y'all gonna have some challenges. That was the first part of his assignment. If they cut off communications, how will we communicate? That was the first part. The second part was of my son's assignment. This was just last year. And I've been warning people ever since he's gotten this assignment. The second part of that assignment was, there has been talks of war and an epidemic. While everybody's having fun over the summer, you have to build a bomb shelter. Everybody's having fun over the summer. You build the bomb shelter. We go into the pandemic and the war, and you only can pick 7 people to go into the bomb shelter with you. Who are you picking and why? If you're tuning in, you're listening to I Said It, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. We're talking about we are more blessed. The reality is we are more blessed than what we are. But that was my son's assignment. We're building a bomb shelter to be safe from a pandemic. You only can pick 7 people, including yourself. Who are you picking? This was my son's assignment. Now, I don't know about you, but I am a big person where I pay attention to signs, numbers. I pay attention to the environment. I am what you call woke, okay? In order for you to be woke, you got to pay attention to certain things. You can't just be woke listening to words. When you are woke, and when I mean woke, I mean you paying attention. You're not so oblivious and lackadaisical where you ain't paying attention to what the hell going on. You can't be that sleep. We got to wake up, y'all. We cannot be so consumed with love and hip hop that we're not preparing our children in the event. If you become ill, what will happen to your children? Do you have a plan in place? I know there's some challenges with some parents and y'all don't communicate as often, but I will behoove you. It is important that y'all come up with a plan. Mama gets sick. Daddy, you up for the job? You up for the challenge? Daddy, you get sick. Mama, grandma, auntie, what's happening? And see, at the end of the day, we can't just depend on our local, national government to protect us, because clearly you see that they cannot. You have to take certain situations and matters into your own hands. If you were watching the show last week, I had Mrs. Mary Harvin from You Drink I Make on there, and we were talking about utilizing your parent power. There are some things that you shouldn't be waiting to get an okay about. You should be taking the initiative and getting it started on your own. And at the end of the day, from this pandemic, there's going to be some more millionaires and billionaires birthed out of this. And at the end of the day, for all of those individuals out here that are entrepreneurs with a product or service, we should be supporting each other anyway. It should not take a pandemic to say I want to support my brother or sister who's out here putting their life on the line day in and day out, not knowing where their next dollar is going to come from, hoping to get booked, busy, and stay blessed, while some people are employed. The people that are employed, as you can see, your job is not secure. So you can't get mad for people who decided that they wanted to be entrepreneurs, because we saw this situation coming. We decided I'm not going to allow anybody to dictate how I govern my life. And at this particular point, for the most part, everybody is unemployed. A mass majority of Americans right now do not have work to suffice their everyday and sustain. That is why they're getting ready to give out a stimulus package. But if you're like me and you have over $2,000 in bills, $1,000 is chump change. Will it help? Yes, thank you, God. However, it's not enough to sustain us. So at the end of the day, we have to support one another. We have to be beyond ourselves and our pride and our ego. See, our pride and our ego will allow us to stay behind in the poverty line. Our people will always be the last if we don't get out of that. At this point, you can't look sweet for nobody. You can't stunt for nobody. You can't pop no bottles. What we doing here? Right now should be the time where we say, okay, my family needs a plan. I need a plan. I need to look at all my money that I have. I need to make a decision on how we're going to operate as a family, as a group. What are the emergency contact numbers that my family needs to know? What is my blood type? Who is my physician? If there's an emergency, what hospital do I need to go to? What's my primary care provider? Do I have medical insurance? These are all factors that we all need to think about. Forget going to the mall. Forget that you upset because your kids is at home. You created them bad kids. So if your kids aren't disciplined enough to be at home, then you need to work on your parenting. You mad because your kids is bouncing off the wall? Create a schedule. And I want to speak on behalf of all the kids across the world in the city of Detroit. Your kids don't want to be at home with you either. Yeah, I said it before. I take it back. I'm going to add more to it. Your kids don't want to be at home with you either. If you have kids that are in school, they want to be at school with their friends. They want to hear the bell ring. They want to talk to their favorite teacher. They don't want to be at home with you, nagging at them, cussing and fussing at them all day, telling them to sit down 5,000 times a day, telling them to go in their room 6,000 times a day. They don't want to be at home with you either. Yeah, I said it, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. They don't want to be at home with you either. And if I was you and I had a parent like some of y'all, I wouldn't want to be at home with some of y'all no way. You lazy, you nasty, you trifling, you don't spend time with your kids no way. Now you mad because you got to spend the rest of these few weeks with the kids you created. Did nobody tell you to sit your little hot pocket self down, have all them kids? No way. Yeah, I said it. And before I take it back, I'll add more to it. And in the meantime, in between time, if you know somebody who do got a lot of kids, help them out. What you doing? You ain't doing nothing. At least go pick up a few of them, too. I know when my mama had 7 kids, and my daddy would come and pick us up, and my little brother David, he had his own daddy. My daddy would take David with us. David wasn't his son, but my daddy would still take David with us because at the end of the day, my mama needed a break. Hell. So when my daddy would come and pick us 4 up, he would take my little brother too. And for all of you parents out there complaining about having to be with the kids that you created, why? Yeah, I said it, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. Because at the end of the day, you are your children's first teacher. And for those of you all out there that are praying and using this platform to commune with God, your prayer does not reach God without change. See, the scripture in 2 Chronicles, it says, if my people that are called by my name will turn from their wicked ways, seek my face. You got to do something in order for God to heal the land. You can't just put a prayer out there and still live your trifling life. You can't. That ain't how it works. God don't honor prayers like that. You don't, and at the end of the day, yes, our economy is affected by this. But the reality is, like I said, we're really blessed. We're really blessed. And it should also let you know the leadership that we have in office. The fact that they're turning people's waters on just so that people don't get the coronavirus is trifling. And those people need to be fired. Nobody should have their water cut off. Period. Water is a human right. And it shouldn't take the coronavirus for people to get their water turned back on. The coronavirus shouldn't be the reason why you're giving people grace for their DTE bills and their water bills. You should give people grace and mercy because God continues to give us grace and mercy every day. Half of y'all should be dead already, and it shouldn't even be from the coronavirus. It should be because of the bad decisions that we've all made. See, it shouldn't take the coronavirus for us to understand how precious life is. See, everybody that has been complaining, you know what you all have been complaining about? You have been complaining about your wants. You have not been complaining about your needs. See, you're in a different classification when you are complaining about your needs. All of y'all been complaining about y'all wants, not your needs. What I want to do, where I want to go, what I can't do, what I want to do. Some of y'all need to sit yourselves down anyway. Our life has been going so fast, so fast, so fast, so fast. Listen, my son will be 17 in a few months. And I remember when the boy was a baby. And now he's a grown young man. God slowed time down so we can understand what to prioritize and what is more important. We don't get time back. And before you know it, your little baby will be a grown young man getting ready to graduate from high school. And while you tripping about what your baby might not wear for prom, or if they're going to have a graduation, or if they're going to have a prom, that should be the least of your worries. You better hope your baby graduate and have enough credits to even graduate. You better hope that your baby is equipped for the SAT and ACT while they got this month off of school. Because there are still tools and still resources available for our children to be prepared for what's to come. But when they're not prepared for what's to come, how can they be prepared for something else to happen? Because I'm going to tell y'all something. The coronavirus is a pandemic. And we're going to have another one. We've had SARS, we've had anthrax, we've had the swine flu, We've had Ebola. We've had, come on, give me some more, y'all. Come on. We've had, what else did we have? We had SARS. I think I said that one. We had so much. And if you aren't paying attention, it's always around election time. It's always around election time. If you hadn't noticed, a lot of these epidemics, pandemics are always around important decision time. They always come when there is important decisions to be made, when big money is at stake. See, it's you thinking small when this is a global impacting thing. See, at the end of the day, we don't run nothing. And the big dog on campus is China. You know why? Because everything that you own, from your hair down to your shoes, it made from here, baby. See, sometimes that big mouth that we think we the big dog, we got clout, we making noise, we get to bully people around. See, America has bullied so many countries around for a long time. For a long time, we've manipulated other countries. We've given them extra tariff taxes on things that we shouldn't have. See, we've had presidents in the past that wanted to keep peace amongst other nations. And so now we have a leader in office that don't give a damn. He don't give a damn. And at the end of the day, if it all boils down to it, he can hop in his jet and get on and won't think twice about you, me, or your kids. He'll be somewhere safe with his family. While we sitting around biting our nails trying to figure out what our next move is going to be. See, at the end of the day, if we're not careful, because all y'all praying and everybody nice now, we got to keep the same energy once this dies down. Once this dies down, you got to keep that same energy. Because at the end of the day, coronavirus just don't disappear. Anthrax didn't just disappear. Ebola just didn't disappear. Swine flu just didn't disappear. It's still in the atmosphere. It's still in the environment. They just learned how to control it. But at the end of the day, what this has taught us is that we don't have control over nothing. So you should be able to control what you can. Men, I need y'all to lead y'all families. This is why it's so important. This is one of the reasons why God wanted you to get with one woman, go find you a nice little squeeze, get you a nice little honey dip, get you and your little family, and y'all go get somewhere and go be safe. But no, you all want to be hot pockets and go start families everywhere. So in the case of an emergency, your family is split all across the city, all across the country. You got kids over here, kids over there, a woman over here, a woman over there. Go find you a mate that you can quarantine with, that you can be friends with. Because if the parts stop working, you still want to be able to be around the person. Because after sex is over, and for people who've been married 20 and 30 years, they can agree with me. You don't get married for sex. Because after a while, you ain't gonna feel like having sex. They gonna be too tired for sex. They stuff may not get the way it used to get when you first got it. And everything won't be the same. So if you're gonna get with somebody that you like and you could be friends with. This is why it's important for you to establish having a family. This is why it's important for you to make wise decisions as an adult. My son asked me the other day about he was going on a date or something like that. And I told him, I said, son, I could easily have a bunch of men in and out of my house. I could easily go on a date every day of my life if I wanted to. 3-4 times a day if I wanted to. But I don't have time to entertain no foolishness. See, now we got a lot of men out here, they hungry. They ain't got no home cooked meal. They trying to figure out, cause see, now that the sex is, you got all the sex you gonna get, she don't know how to cook. Can't eat out now. Restaurants only doing carry out. You only can carry out for so long until you want something from home. That pretty face that you love so much that you sacrifice for, she can't even fry chicken. She can't even make you a bowl of rice. But listen, the fellatio was good, wasn't it? Fellas, Oh yeah, he was stunting. He looked good in his jewelry, in the car and the coat. He don't even know how to use a screwdriver. He don't even want to get his hands dirty. See, ladies, gentlemen, and even for those lesbian gays and homosexuals out there, you better go find you a mate that can help you. It's not enough for you to look cute. It's not enough for you to have some great sex. Can you start a fire? Do you know first aid, CPR? In the event that I get cut, can you make a bandage out of a t-shirt? Y'all better stop going for these people that can't do nothing for you but have you have your back wet and your pockets dry. Because at the end of the day, yeah, I said it. And before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. If you're tuning in, I'm your girl, Jaja. We're talking about the reality is we're really blessed. Really blessed. And for those of you that are seeking employment, Myers is hiring. All the Myers are hiring. Fill you out an application at Meyer.com. You get paid every week. I even went back. I went back to Myers. Now, you ain't going to see me on the front line. I'm going to be stocking, taking stuff out of boxes because I don't want to deal with the public. And I'm not going to make myself or put myself in jeopardy to get the coronavirus because people are still nasty and a lot of people don't take it serious. And at the end of the day, listening to some of these foolish people will have you jacked up. I heard a lady the other day talking about, you supposed to stay away from the people with gloves and the mask. And I sat there and I said, huh? Somebody told me you're supposed to stay away from the people with the gloves and the mask. And I said, sweetheart, the people with, you should be wearing gloves and a mask. But that just lets us know how uneducated we are and how unknowledgeable we are about the things that we should know. And at the end of the day, we definitely have to support each other because our ancestors have supported each other. They had to go through some scrupulous situations. Talk about a virus. Can you imagine being on a slave ship with feces, women pregnant, people having to jump off the boats, people being forced into situations? So we're free. We're more blessed than what we... Can you imagine having a pandemic like this and being a slave? We all be dead. Can you imagine? Just imagine it. And at the end of the day, if you are not satisfied with how the leaders of our country, the leaders of our city, the leaders of our nation has handled this pandemic, then we need new people in office. Because at the end of the day, it's coronavirus today. We don't know what it'll be tomorrow. If we know that this virus has made this big of an impact, just like in times past, anthrax, people didn't even want to open up their mail. Ebola, people didn't even want to eat spinach or lettuce, a salad. Everybody was Ebola. Swine flu. Didn't know. Everybody was scared of mosquitoes. They didn't want to get attacked. We were spraying each other down with all type of stuff so we wouldn't get attacked by a mosquito. If it's corona today, it'll be something else tomorrow. And my question to you is, are you prepared for tomorrow? See, it's not enough for us to be prepared for today. We don't know what'll happen tomorrow. But the thing about it is, and I say this on probably all of my episodes, proper planning prevents poor performance. And one of the reasons why a lot of you are suffering from the fear of unknown is because you're not prepared. You're not prepared. You have not prepared your children. You have not prepared yourself. You watch more TV than you read. You know more about what's going on with Love and Hip Hop and Real Housewives in their lives. But the reality of it is that they're good. They got them a few checks to protect them. You still trying to get your little check from your little job. You hoping the little 2 days that you did go to work, you won't get your check. Yeah, I said it. And before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. If your kids go back to school and they still don't know how to write their name, and you still yelling at your kids, but your kids been out of school for a whole month, and your kids still don't know how to write, read. They don't know their name, their birthday, their phone number. What they been doing all day? You mean to tell me you didn't let your kids sit on their phones and computers all day? Let me tell you something. When Tayshawn went in school and he didn't have school, I would wake him up like we had school. School time. We had breakfast. He had his first assignment. Then we had his first snack. Then we had his second assignment. Then we had lunch. After lunch, it was nap time. After nap time, it was extracurricular activities. After extracurricular activities, it was assignment 3. After assignment 3, it was fun time. He got to go have fun. Get out my face. You better go have fun for this hour. After fun time was over, we went back to assignment 4. Then school was over. But guess what? Before school was over, he had homework. Yeah, he had homework in his own home. Yeah. And if he didn't have, and if he didn't bring his homework back the next day, he had consequences and repercussions. Because he had time to do the homework. For those business owners who are having challenges with your business, with making money, guess what? Keep posting. Keep being consistent. Keep selling what you're selling. Keep doing what you're doing. Because at the end of the day, only what's done in the name of Christ will last. Because some water, some seed, but God gives increase. And if it's meant for your business to sustain during this economical challenge, it will sustain. If it ain't meant to sustain, it won't. And it ain't nothing you can do about it. Yeah, I said it. And before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. You can pray all you want to pray. You can numb your Renge Kyo all you want to. You can talk to Buddha, Jesus, Shaquana, whoever. I don't really care. At the end of the day, God gives increase. God gives the increase. And if you know that there is something that you can buy from your brother or your sister that you don't have to go out and get from somewhere else, I would support my brother and sister that are business owners. I wouldn't sit there and know that my brother or sister sells soap, antibacterial soap, and I go to Family Dollar to go get the soap. Because at the end of the day, I ain't seen Johnson & Johnson give out no diapers. I ain't heard Johnson & Johnson or Procter & Gamble give out no soaps. If anything, they have increased in sales. I ain't seen Huggies give out no diapers to low-income families who can't afford them. I haven't seen nobody give out no cars. So if we really talking about helping somebody, these major corporations ain't trying to help you. Because if they were, they would have. I seen Dan Gilbert. He gave what? $125,000? But hell, you own every damn thing downtown. Give up one of them buildings to make it one of a medical facility. Then we talking. We got to make sure we hold our leadership accountable. Should nobody in leadership be at home? You a state rep, city council, you in leadership, you need to be going checking on your constituents because they voted you in. You should be making sure families got water. Who's double checking and triple checking that these people are doing what they supposed to do? Because at the end of the day, who would know? Are we making sure that our seniors don't get evicted, don't get put out? Who's going to triple check this and make sure that it's happening? I saw that there was a memorandum or amendment that went out where you can't resell items that you purchased. Who's going to mandate that? Who's going to make sure that it's enforced? Our police barely come when it's an emergency. They take forever when it's an emergency. They doing better, but they take forever in an emergency. And I really, really want to say this. Stop passing out information that you have not confirmed. I've received so many DMs about they gonna do this, they gonna do that, they gonna do this, they gonna do that, they gonna do this, they gonna do that. Stop sending out false information that you have not confirmed. If you have not confirmed that information, meaning you ain't heard it with your own ears out of the horse's mouth, stop spreading false information. That's how you keep mess going. And I just want to say, in the midst of all of this, if you're tuning in, you're listening to I said it, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. We're talking about the reality is we are still blessed. At the end of the day, enjoy your life. There's no need of living in fear. There's no need in walking in fear. God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and a sound mind. I walk and live my life every day, and I still live it. I go visit my family. I go check on those that I need to check on. Those that I don't, I ain't. If I wasn't talking to you before the coronavirus, I ain't gonna talk to you after. We ain't about to play that game. If I didn't mean nothing to you before the coronavirus, don't try to make it seem like I mean something to you now. So y'all ladies that's lonely and desperate, and you fellas that's lonely and desperate, and the coronavirus got you quarantined and you got to be at home, I know you're itching down there, but don't get desperate. Because if they didn't treat you right before the coronavirus, they for damn sure ain't going to treat you right after. Yeah, I said it, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. Don't waste your time with false hopes. I got a text message earlier today. I didn't even respond. I looked at it and kept it moving. Because if you wasn't praying for me before the coronavirus, don't pray for me because of corona going on. Your prayers won't get to God. Yeah, I said it. And before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. I want you all to live your life. I had an amazing time this past weekend. I went to Cash Dow's birthday party. Shout out to all the birthdays. Shout out to my nephew, Braylon. Happy birthday, Braylon. And all of those who are having birthdays, celebrate, and feel like it's going to be a damper on your plans. Listen, if people really want to rock with you and they really love you, they going to celebrate your birthday, corona or not. Listen, if you got to celebrate with 10 people at a time and people just got to wait to celebrate your life and your birthday, then guess what? Then they just gonna have to wait and party with you 10 people at a time. But at the end of the day, I partied with Cash Doll, and I'm going somewhere for me saying this, because the reality is that we're still blessed. I went and had a really great time celebrating a birthday, because birthdays are important. I don't care who birthday is. It could be Bert and Ernie birthday. I'm still celebrating your birthday. But we had a really amazing time. And one of the things that I noticed at the birthday while we were celebrating, I don't understand how in the middle of a pandemic, an epidemic, people still got time to hate. I don't understand it. I don't understand how you hating and everybody need help. How, Sway? If anything, we should be locking arms together and moving forces and trenches, making sure everybody got tissue, making sure everybody got bleach, or at least the people that you rock with, you should be making sure everybody you rock with is good. And my thing is that you can't hate on a relationship that Cash Doll has with her, amongst her people, because guess what? She making sure her people are good. You stop being a hater and make sure your people is good. I watch so many people talk about, I want a Birkin friend, I need a Birkin bestie, I need friends to celebrate me. Well, maybe if you stop being a hater and you really look at people and say, you know what? She has something that can help me. I got something that I can help her. We got something that we can help each other with. That's what they're doing. They're saying, let's put the BS aside. I'm going to big you up. You going to big me up. We going to big each other up. And before you know it, we're all eating. But see, you can't be jealous if they're executing their strategy to the fullest extent. See, the bottom line is that we're too afraid to let somebody else lead and get to come up first. See, at the end of the day, we all can't come up at the same time. Some people gonna come up before you. But you shouldn't be tripping. You should be like, okay, Ja up. I know Ja, and I know Ja is a woman of integrity, so I know she's gonna be pulling some people with her. But see, when you're not a person of integrity and you power hungry, you clout chasing, you want to be the big kahuna on campus, you want to be the HBNIC, the HBIC, you want to be the dictator, you want to be the one in charge, you will always run into a person thinking that they're better than another person. And see, what this pandemic has done is it has increased the wealth gap. It has increased it. It has literally let you know what classification you lie in. You do not lie in the classification of the wealthy. I'm here to tell you. I don't want to bust your bubbles, but boop, just bust them. Yeah, I said it, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. It increased. I have a friend right now. You know what he asked me? He said, you can come out to my house just to get away from the madness in the city. He lives off Metro Beach in a mansion. His yacht is in his backyard. He asked me, did me and my son need to come out there with him? And it made me feel some type of way. Because I was just like, so you just gonna invite me to your mansion like that? You just gonna tell me, come out to your mansion? You and your son come out to my mansion? That let me know that there was a gap. There's a big gap, and it's going to get bigger. And for those of you who have something to sell, you're an entrepreneur. Right now, you trying to debate if you want to be an entrepreneur or not because your employment is up in the air. Anybody dealing with food, anybody dealing with service, anybody that has anything to do with the public. Most of conferences and events are closed. They're going virtual. If you have not decided what you're going to do, what you want to do, what your passion is, where your passion lies, I suggest you utilize this time to do it. If you've been complaining about you tired, you need rest, this may be the appropriate time to go lay down and take a nap and rest. If you had a decision to finish a book, to finish schooling, to finish whatever, this is the time to do it. This is the time to do it. And if you have not decided what it is that you want to do, then you might need to sit down and really pray to God and ask him to really talk to you. Because some of you are utilizing this prayer to God as if, for fun and fashion. God ain't impressed by your prayer on Facebook. He ain't impressed by your prayer on Instagram. He ain't impressed by that. He ain't impressed by you quoting scriptures. He impressed by change, behavior. And if you want to see some stuff change, start by changing. You start by changing. You can't change nobody and nothing else of what nobody else got going on if you ain't changing. If you're not being more engaged, if you're not being more active, if you're not leading your family, you cannot anticipate or expect anything to happen or change if you're not the one that's going to do it. And at the end of the day, either you're going to support people for real or you just going to be another mouthpiece running your mouth. Because at the end of the day, it shouldn't take COVID-19 or the coronavirus for us to talk about really supporting each other as entrepreneurs. It shouldn't take a person having a near-death experience for us to realize how important it is for us to check on one another. And if you're tuning in, you're listening to I Said It, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. If you're looking for a host, if you're looking for a speaker, if you're looking for a panelist, listen, guys, it's your girl, Jaja. I'm right here. If you want to be a guest on the show, listen, I'm still taking guests. I had a guest today that was supposed to be on my show. Unfortunately, they fell ill, and I'm glad that they stayed away because I have nothing, and I don't want to get nothing. Amen. Yeah, I said it, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. But if you are free and clear of the coronavirus or any diseases for that matter and would still like to come on my show and be a guest and promote your services, promote your brand, I would love to have you as a guest. I still have some openings for the month of March. I got one opening. I do have some openings for the month of April and the month of May. If you would like to be a guest on the show and talk about what it is that you got coming up, regardless if it gets canceled or not. People still should know what you're doing. Even if it is canceled. We got a leadership experience tour that I'm going to be speaking on in May. And if they saying it is going to last to July, August, our stuff may go virtual. I may be doing my experience tour via what I already been doing weekly. See how God prepares? He prepares those that want to prepare. Listen, If you're tuning in, you're listening to Yeah, I Said It, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. Make sure that you follow me on Facebook, subscribe to my YouTube channel, You Know Jaja. Follow me on Instagram. Listen, check out my Insta stories, my Facebook stories. I have some really amazing information that I always slide through there. Listen, if we going to support each other, we going to do it for real, or we ain't going to do it at all. Listen, until next time, I love y'all. Peace.